Let's move on to the next session. We have Fadjar Andi Wibowo talking to us about preparing procurement for digital disruption. He works as the head supply chain for PD Bukit, Muria, Jaya.
Good late afternoon. So I hope everybody still wake up because it's a very tough time for you.
You should ask everyone to stand up.
Yes. Do I need to conduct the ice breaking? Okay. I know you, all of you very tired, so I will make a very short brief about the procurement related to digital disruption to the supply chain. Yeah, allow me to introduce my name, Fadjar Andi Wibowo. I work for PT Bukit Muria Jaya, handle supply chain. Okay, the topic will be more focusing on the preparation as a procurement with the influence of the digital disruption. So I believe most of you or part of you in charge in the procurement. Who actually work for the procurement? Can you raise your hand? Two? Okay, no problem. I think tomorrow there will be a lot of participants will come. Okay, before I start and I explain about the preparation itself, because our company actually is a specialty paper and packaging, which is mostly manufactured for cigarette. All of you already realize the pressure from the regulation to the tobacco. The recently excise tax increasing tremendously, 23%. So that is actually hit the producer of the cigarette and automatically hit us as a vendor of them, as a cigarette paper and packaging producer. We have a premium customer like Philip Morris, Sampurna, British American Tobacco. We also have Wismilak, the local blue chip producer of cigarette. They're actually starting to think about how they reduce the cost of material. So it will be a trigger or disaster for us as well, as a procurement point of view, because we need to also think about how we give a pressure to our supplier. Otherwise, we will be hit by right and by left. Supplier doesn't want to accept our strategy to, increasing the price. Because we want to reducing, but they want to increase. So it's contrary. But before that, I would like to show a little bit about what is actually the CPO agenda, which is CPO is a Chief Procurement Officer, or Head of Procurement, or whatever name. Of course, the three message here, which is the delivering value, the cost reduction, and risk management plus the growth contribution, it will be the part of the CEO agenda, the contribution to the company. So this is also my part, how I start to think about it. But this is actually a consumer survey result. But see, this survey was taken from the University of Mannheim in collaborate with SAP Ariba. It's about the Global Procurement Survey 2019. So it's clearly from the participant, they are agree mostly almost 84% that the goal of the digitalization impact to the procurement are very important. This is rule number one, taken from the survey. Okay. How about the digital transformation in the procurement itself? more than 80%, they also believe that it will bring and create a value to the procurement. Because procurement is a spending, it's a part of the spending, but in the other hand, it can be part of the savings for the company from the reduction material or the spending itself. Another insight from the survey, it's talking about the barrier in the procurement. So there are three most barriers here, which is the first one is of course, the budget restriction from the top management. It is something that usual for the company because they want to, to distribute and allocate the budget, which for the sourcing side, for the manufacturing side, for the logistics side. So it will be shrink and tight time to time. That's the budget restriction. The second one is the analytic or the insight of the data. The data is actually a value of information for the procurement. The buyer needs the quality or the analytical data at the highest quality level. The last part is more on the talent shortage. Cannot imagine the team in the buyer side, my team as well, if they just act as a buyer, normal buyer in this era, and doing the negotiation very simple without have a very good negotiation skill, for example, or the analytical skill of the data, it will be disaster actually. The result and the sustainability will be also messed up. So the survey is proven, okay, that the barrier, the top three of the barrier is the restrict of the budget, analytical of the data insight, and the last part of the talent shortage. I'm going to tell you about what we're going to do in the last slide as a key takeaway of my presentation. Okay. The next, it is about the digital technology adoption. There are two different parts: the mature of the technology and the emerging technology. So quite different. If we're talking about the mature, it's most likely more on the innovation itself. It's more on the sophisticated features or something like solutions. The other thing is emerging. Emerging more on the cyber tracking, something like more on the emerging. But the other thing is there is a different perceived from the consumer or the respondent from the survey about the mature and the emerging. Okay, 28% they rate the digital maturity of the procurement function compared to the major competitor equally the same. So equally the same or higher if they leverage or they possess actually the digital technology and their procurement side. What they need is just to leverage the capability on their digital technology that they have. Because procurement, usually the conservative way, they conduct the electronic bidding. They conduct also RFP, they conduct the spend data analysis. It's very common, but with the embrace the technology of the digital, it's more than that. This is actually opportunity open for us. That's actually my company now is seeking the opportunity to embrace and enlarge our digital transformation in the procurement. So this is the key finding of the survey summary that I delivered in previous slide. So some respondents, they believe digital transformation will affect. The second one is 84%, more than 80, as you see. They believe that the procurement will have a beneficial from embracing the technology of the digital. Then the goal actually from the digitalization, as we can see, the process should be automated, the data analysis and the quality has to improve, and the last part is improve the compliance. You know, the compliance is very essential because it's correlated with the risk management. If you didn't follow the compliance in the procurement side, then you're gonna have a trouble. Okay. 78% respondent rate their digital maturity equally the same or even higher than their competitor if they willing to focus on it. Another result, respondent actually 80% of them not as a risk experts but highly entrepreneur. That's actually the profiling. Adoption, mostly for the mature technology, the level of the result is moderate. The mature that I saw previously, some technology that the feature over the mature, but in the low side is facing in the emerging technology. Okay. Okay. So this is the insight. The insight of what is the CPO have in their mind after the survey. The first one is they need to leverage or improve the strategic sourcing to become more predictive. It's not about something like anticipated, but this is more predictive because the spending, the price, the commodity, because my company actually, we are really seeking the price of pulp, for example. Pulp is commodity. Carbonate, the chemical one, to produce the paper. We have to really taking care on that predictive, the forecasting for another couple of months or maybe a year later, the hiccup, what is the season that it will be hiccup, it will be going down. That's actually part of the improvement, the strategic sourcing. The framework, we need to reshape the framework according to the dynamic of the situation. Of course, the competition, the competitor, we have 4 competitors, 3 from Europe, 1 from China. The different style of the different style is represent of each competitors. Automated, have to be automated because when we talking about automated, it will increase the productivity, the quality of analysis of the buyer. The other thing is accuracy of the result of analysis. So the judgment from the top management will be more easy. And proactive. What I mean proactive is more relate into the third party, which is the supplier. So we have to be more proactive approaching the supplier portfolio. We have many different suppliers, and according to our quadrant, the strategic supplier has to be the first priority. We have to earn something if we want to comply and get achievement to the objective, the procurement itself. Okay, we need to embrace. Everybody knows the VUCA, right? Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. So it is not only the demand side, but on the sourcing side, we also hit by the VUCA. That's why one of the reasons why we need to embrace the VUCA, we need to also embrace the technology. The technology will help us to prevent and to eliminate the impact of the VUCA. So we in the procurement actually try to endorse three pillars here. Okay? Here we see it's more about the supply base, the price, the contract. We talk about the S2C, source to contract, which is include a lot of component inside. The second one is P2P, procure to pay, and the third one is more on the supplier, the collaboration. That represent the previous slide, the more proactive, which is related to this. Automated, which is related to the P2P, because we need to speed up and reduce the lead time of our process from the qualification of the new vendor, setting the contractual agreement until issuing the PO. Then the first one is more on the upstream, regarding the RFP, the bidding, and the paperwork. Okay, talking about the digital technology and the capability. We see that here today we have a lot of process which is more on the analytic. You see this one, we have sourcing, supplier, collaboration. We also have contract management. It's already here. It's a common. But we don't know what about the next. The next is here. Mature. We have to be here by embrace a few things, a few beneficial solution that actually will help us to, something like increasing the value proposition of the procurement itself in the company. And of course, by doing that, in front of supplier, we also have a bargaining power, more bargaining power. But I know this one also involve a cost or investment. It's not easy. That's why we need to do some mapping. Which one is become our first priority to be more mature in terms of the embracing the digital to the procurement. And emerging, there is a feature, something like solution here, like blockchain, sensor, cyber tracking for any incidents with the activity regarding the supplier to us. It's already there. And virtual reality, it's talking about the spatial analytic. Those is something that already in the market, and I believe a lot of implementer, they already starting to offer, because we as a user, we have been approached as well, and luckily we are going to conduct a proof of concept with one of the implementer. We will be a second company in Indonesia to be part of the pilot project, I hope, because the proof of concept has to be approved by our top management first. The first company is Sinarmas Mining. They adopt the SAP Ariba. SAP Ariba actually has 4 or 5 different modules. Why we need to wake up and improve on the procurement and sourcing, because we understand that we have quite long to have the very long supplier. I think supplier we have maybe 20 years. We still with those supplier, but we don't know in other beyond that. Do we have any other supplier that compete also with the existing one? Then we can conduct the fair competition. So that's actually why we need to conduct the business case or proof of concept with that. I went to Singapore a month ago. I went to Mapletree building, the SAP office. They also have a solution, the intelligent spending analysis, focusly on how to increase the analysis on the intelligent spending according to your supplier portfolio from the network, the geographical, also assisting the analysis of risk. If something happened with one supplier in the Latin America continent, for example, so you still have another opportunity to get another supplier from South Africa or Africa, for example. That's how powerful of the intelligent spending analysis. So that's related to the quality of data analysis that I mentioned in my previous slide. Okay, so all those from the today, mature and emerging, has to be integrated if you want to completely have a powerful result by embrace the procurement, digital procurement to the supply chain. But I understand that it's not easy, but focus on your first priority, and you can calculate the risk of your investment, how to make sure that the ROI will happen, will return in 1 year, for example, by conducting the digital procurement at your area. Okay, this is a key takeaway that I would like to emphasize something here. Opportunity is there, so please initiate a few projects. Start small is fine, but you have to know your focus. Okay, you have a supplier segmentation, right? So you can see which one is it non-direct material or is it direct material? With direct material, you can also do some Pareto. You can conduct also some Krajik matrix analysis, something like analysis for calculate the TCO, the total cost ownership. Then approach a value creation by you, as I mentioned, the TCO and end-to-end procurement flow. The third one is about accelerate supplier collaboration. You can start to review and reshaping the contract. Maybe you can elaborate also the possibility to adopt one solution, digital. In SAP Ariba, the second module is like a contractual agreement. So from the end, from the start until the end, they offer a very good solution on this. Digital transformation team, of course, is more on the rollout of the project, the initiative. So if you commit to execute the initiative, so you may establish a team. Of course, the team has to be adequate with the knowledge, proper knowledge, and cross team is very important because you are not procurement, not work alone. You are work with the other function in the production, for example, because they are the user who using the material that you bought from the supplier, and other part like commercial is really important. When you start to initiate a project, you have to tie up also with the commercial, because it's going to be part of the COGM, the cost of gross manufacturing, or COGS. It's really important. So you have to collaborate with the internal team. But the transformation to a digital. In my company, there is one department called a business service system. They are really focusing on improvement on the system. So the manager will come tomorrow because he cannot come today. But I'm sure he will also be in touch with you if you want to talk with her with him, yeah, because he's a man. Okay. The next part, define the roadmap for digital procurement. Of course, there is a milestone how to reach and mature your procurement with the digital adoption. It's really important. Until 5 years, 1 year, 3 years. So you need to establish the roadmap. So that's the fourth one. The last one. This is crucial as well. I just recalled my supply chain transformation project 6 years ago. That we designed the supply chain model, and we need also to educate the employee, all employee from the operator level until the management level, understanding the supply chain management. What is actually the critical part of supply chain management? Because supply chain is not belong to supply chain division. Supply chain is also there is in commercial. No demand, you cannot do anything. And also no sourcing, you cannot run the production. So connected to the procurement, the talent, we want to educate and adding extra knowledge by certify them regarding the how to increase the quality of analysis level from them. We actually want to seek opportunity for certification activity in outside the company. So like supply chain analyst certification. That's very good for us, and we will conduct maybe in the end of the year together with the organizer. It can become in-house, or it can become follow the public certification. By having increasing the quality of analysis from the buyer, it will be very good, because they are the talent actually for the company. They need to be more embraced with the technology. The millennial like the change, but some of us from the X generation, they still skeptical, but they have to be embraced by the millennial, because most of our new fresh employee come from the millennial. So I think that's all from my side. So I hope all of you can follow this street, because this street, the edge of the street, there is like sentence here, a word here, Eureka every day. So Eureka every day is something like every day you always find something. Wow, like Thomas Alva Edison, Archimedes, sorry, or Thomas Alva Edison. That's a very is part of our project spirit. Okay, I think that's all from me. If any question, please. But if you still have any thought later, then you can discuss after this with me. Thank you.
Any questions, please?
Thank you. Just short question before we have in dinner. So my name is Septa from PGM. I'm not procurement, but your presentation was very great. Thank you. First, short question regarding competencies for strategic senior manager procurement. I believe the senior manager procurement should be discussed about strategic procurement side. Could you please kindly enlighten me about the competencies that should we have senior manager of procurement? I believe not always project method or another procurement competencies. Any particular competencies for senior manager related strategic procurement and also digital disruption? This is one about competencies. The second thing, last week your buyer asked me regarding how to standardize about the procure services that quite difficult to understand, such as that services that we procure billboard for advertise or videotron or something, that one of your buyer asked me that it's difficult to standardize about the pricing, to negotiate, because depend on the street, depend on the time, depend on the so on and so on. I mean, do you know that how to standardize the procure services, that many factors to decide it? That's it. I need to thank you so much.
Okay, first question regarding the competency of senior manager procurement, right? Okay. Of course, he or she has to possess end-to-end mindset. The first one is he actually contribute how to reduce the cost, the price of material, but he also has to see the impact into the bottom. That's actually very crucial, because if he or she just execute, oh, I have a price cheap, but create the total cost ownership within the create the negative margin for the production, will be a problem. The second one, the competency, is of course advanced negotiation skill, yeah, and he also has to embrace. I think he should be, or she should be trying to, have a dual mindset with the supplier. If supplier, I will help you to grow, you have to give me a growth as well. So it's something like vice versa. That's actually a competence. There is a lot of competency actually, but according to my opinion, it's like that. Second question is about the case of procured services. Yeah. Okay. Okay. In my company, usually for the indirect procurement, this indirect like services, we manage very simple. We didn't treat as a procurement, because when we did the Pareto, the services is not really contribute to the high spending total. So we just manage with the contractual standard contract with them. If any price is changing, what we need is we need to hedging the price, the upper and the lower, according to the result of the market price of the service itself. Because we don't afraid to have other supplier competition with other among your existing supplier. If they want to say they pressure you, but actually the most important one is you need to stick with the hedging with the price of their service, because it's actually a common service, right? Making a board, everyone has ability to making a board, but the different characteristic, I don't know, in your company maybe you have a special requirement on the specification on the board, but yeah, on my opinion, this indirect service is not really complex to handle. Okay. Well, I think everybody is hungry already, so.
Any more questions? Okay.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Yeah.